Diamond hands, hodl, never sell. All phrases tossed around the crypto community. And although I believe in investing in crypto long term, today I'm going to be sharing with you a cautionary tale on how that strategy lost me over $60,000 in unrealized gains. And if I would have seen a video like this ahead of time, I possibly could have saved all of that money. Jason Calacanis in his book, Angel on Angel Investing, shares a saying the wealthy have when you ask them how they got rich. And the answer is we got rich by selling too early. And I realize quite a few of you watch my videos are new to crypto. And I think this is an important topic to discuss, even when the market's going well. And not only am I going to be sharing my story, but I'm going to be sharing with you some signs I'm looking out for that will signal a bear market is on the horizon, as well as my exit strategy, which I think we should all have one in play. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? My name is Chris, and on this channel, I cover all things online money with the goal of sharing with you my journey of creating as many passive income streams as possible. And the journey of creating those passive income streams, there are failures along the way. And today is the story of one of those failures. I started to invest in crypto in the late summer of 2017, and I put a couple grand in a project called VeChain. And at the time, it had just launched. Now, to give you guys some context and idea of where I was at, because I think it's an important part of the story, I had just quit my full-time job in accounting. I moved across the country from Illinois to California, and I just started an Amazon business. And this business is very capital focused as opposed to a more service-based business. In this business, it takes money to make money. The reason why I mention all of this is because at the time I cashed out my 401k from my job and I ended up putting it into crypto. And I remember specifically even asking the lady on the phone, do you have any crypto Roth IRAs? And she had no idea what Bitcoin was at the time. So that can kind of give you an idea of how far we've come. But when looking back on it, because that's what I used to pay my bills, I probably should have put that money in my Amazon business, but I went ahead and I put it into crypto instead. Now, all that being said, I went ahead and I invested into VeChain, and I remember being glued to my phone thinking, oh my God, what if this project tanks? And that's usually a sign that you invested money that you probably shouldn't have. And lucky for me, the project didn't end up tanking, but it leads me into the problem of today's video. I didn't have an exit strategy. Now, before we get any further, if you do like videos about making money online, be sure to like and subscribe and check out the free Facebook and Discord group in the description below. Now, before I get any further, for the sake of this video, I want to define what a bear market is. And according to Investopedia, it's any time a market pulls back more than 20%. However, this is crypto and the market pulls back 20% all the time. So for this video, let's look at what Bitcoin has done and define what a bear market is. I'm going to define a bear market anytime Bitcoin pulls back more than 50%. And you can see from Bitcoin's all-time high in 2017 of almost $20,000, at the peak of the bear market, it pulled back to $3,000, which is an 82% pullback. And within the altcoins, you see this even more. VeChain pulled back by 96% from the peak of the bull run to the peak of the bear market. So you can understand the amount of money that you could potentially lose here. Now, my original $2,500 investment ended up ballooning to a little over $80,000 at its peak. And from there, it just slowly kept coming down further and further. And I can remember specifically looking at my phone when Bitcoin was at the $8,400 support, thinking, will it go lower? And spoiler alert, it did. So the first thing is there is a state of euphoria. I had no idea what I was doing and I was making money. And the same goes with other people as well. Everyone was making money. And Mark Cuban has a quote here and he says, everyone is a genius in a bull market. You could see on Google Trends how much Bitcoin spiked, and you could take the same philosophy and apply it to today, where look at the metaverse after Mark Zuckerberg talked about it. It's spiked on Google Trends. So it could possibly be in a bubble right now as well. So the second is a sudden surge in price. The sign of a healthy market is steady moves up, steady moves back. So 3 steps forward, 2 steps backward. And this was not the case with Bitcoin in 2017. Bitcoin was a little over $6,000 on November 9th, and it ended up ballooning to almost $20,000 about 5 weeks later. To give you some comparison, this would be like Bitcoin going from about $48,000 right now to over $144,000 in about a month. The third thing you need to keep an eye out for is a trading term called the death cross. And this happened in March of 2018. And this is where the 50-day moving average falls below the 200-day moving average. And even if you're not familiar with trading stocks, this is something anyone can Google and look up pretty easily. And you'll start to see a lot of people on YouTube talk about it as well. Now, it doesn't mean that a bear market is going to happen. If a death cross happens, it just means it's likely to happen. So that's something I'm going to be watching out for as well. Now, to get back to my story, did I ever end up selling? And the answer is yes. I ended up selling in late April of 2018. I ended up cashing out about $22,000. So far from the $80,000 $5,000 I ended up having at one point. And I ended up using those funds to fund my Amazon business, which helped jumpstart me to where I am now. But I made a promise to myself that I ever received that kind of money again, I would pay off my student loans. Fortunately, this story does have a happy ending. I ended up making a purchase for VeChain in early 2020, and I was able to pay off my student loans and car this year from that investment. So that leads me into my current strategy with my current portfolio. And what do I plan on doing? So I think Bitcoin's going to try and make a move back up to 60K. And when that happens, I plan on taking out my original capital I put in most of my investments. And I truly think that we're going to see Bitcoin break its all-time high this bull run. But in the off chance it doesn't, I will have gotten out all of my original capital. And from there, I will be able to de-risk myself appropriately. And there's going to be multiple exit points before a bear market happens. It's not just going to be the market tanks to zero. We're going to have surges in price and pullbacks, surges and pullbacks. But instead of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it's going to be 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And that's when I plan on exiting out of my positions. But at the end of the day, no one knows what's going to happen. And I want to have some skin in the game just in case Bitcoin does something crazy. If you guys do like videos about making money online, be sure to check out my other videos. Consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks, guys. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.